but I first wanted to talk about the Terrence Crawford thing versus the Dennis Ugas.
Yeah,
As far as it goes with Dennis Ugas versus Terrence Crawford, I think that Terrence Crawford will easily win that fight because Dennis Ugas, he's a good fighter, but it's just his style is too basic. And like when you look at how he fights, he uses like all of the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are good. But I think that he would have to probably pick up on his punching power. Punching power is his weakest point as far as his fighting. But yeah, man, that's how I think. I think that Terrence Crawford would outbox him. I think that
I agree with you.
I think that he would use a lot of angles. He would use like a lot of footworks. He would use some switch hitting ability, and I think that Terrence Crawford hits by far harder than Dennis Ugas. I think that I know a lot of people, they're not gonna like that in chat. But
no, that's true. That's true. And you're right. You're right on that. I mean, his record prove it. Didn't he stop like his last 5 opponents and stuff? I mean, like, ain't no denying that. And I just want to say, like, as far as the caller earlier, I never said, that he will beat Crawford. I'm just saying it's a good fight. I'd rather see him Crawford versus Ugas than Crawford versus Brook at this point, because I believe Brook ain't no longer the same. And 3 years ago, he claimed he can't make 147. Now all of a sudden, he won that last paycheck. But it is what it is. So all I'm saying is, the fact that I believe Crawford is actually gonna beat Ugas, and maybe in a not in a dominant fashion, but in a clear fashion, is because of how highly I think of Crawford. It don't mean that I think Ugas suck like the caller earlier. I just think that Crawford has the skills to pay the bills, and I really think highly of him. The only guy that really could upset Crawford at the welterweight division, in my opinion, is Errol Spence. Sean Porter might give him a tough fight, but I see him schooling Sean Porter too. So, in my opinion, the only guy that really has a shot of beating Crawford is Errol Spence. So, yeah, you could continue yours of life.
Yeah, man, I feel.
Yeah, your voice is kind of like going out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Repeat that.
Yeah. Anyways, people, they're going off of when they fought in the amateurs because Dennis Ugas said that he beat Terrence Crawford. I've always tried to find the amateur records, and I've never been able to find them before. It's very hard to figure out information about the amateurs.
Yeah,
you know anything about that?
The thing about amateurs, when you fight in the amateurs, they give you a little booklet, or that's how they used to do it. They give you a little booklet to keep up with it, and they have to sign off on it and stuff like that to keep up with it. Now, other than a booklet that could prove your fights and stuff like that, there's no other way as far as like a website like BoxRec, because BoxRec, for example, only talks about the pros. So that's actually a great point, because they should definitely explore that and have a BoxRec, for example, for the amateurs. I don't see why they have a BoxRec for the pros but not the amateurs. It don't make any sense to me. So but it's so many amateurs is the reason why. Like, it's so many amateurs. And it's just like it was really hard to keep up with it, but it's also so many pros. You know what I mean? So I really don't know much on that. The only time you really could find the record of a fighter is when you actually hear a network talk about it, or that fighter himself. Like, for example, with Ring came, they talk about there's rumors he had like 500 fights almost. There's rumors he had like 300 fights. So it's like, I heard the 453 is the accurate one, or around that number. But like I said, you could never really know with these fighters unless you see their booklet.